Welcome to Teachers in Real Estate podcast with your host, Jackie Durbin. I built a six-figure income from using what I learned from being a teacher. Teachers make great real estate agents, but guys, it isn't all sunshine and rainbows. Some people are cutthroat. Some clients will make you want to throw in the towel, but your years in education have built you for a career in real estate, and I am here to help. With the right mindset and the right tribe, you can experience the exact same success. You can either supplement your income as a part-time agent or go full-time into real estate. The tools that I will share will help you gain the confidence and the expertise to reach your goals. Whatever your goals are, let's enjoy this time together. This podcast is geared for teachers who are looking to get their start in real estate and teachers who are already rocking those dual careers. If that's you, grab your notebook, your pencil, and buckle up. We are about to begin Teachers in Real Estate. Hey guys, I'm excited to be back and recording another episode of Teachers in Real Estate. And I have to tell you, I had an amazing day because I got a message from a listener who is a teacher and has been kind of contemplating the idea of going into real estate. And guess what? She said that one of my episodes really made her see and understand how you can either supplement or use what you've done as a teacher, those skills that you have to be successful in real estate. So if you are listening and you're like, wow, Jackie, you really message people back? Yes, I do. So anyhow, in our last episode, I talked about burnout because one, it's a real thing. And two, I was really suffering from it. I got to a point where I had entirely too much on my plate. I kept taking on different tasks. And what happened was I couldn't do it anymore. Burnout for me looks like stress. Okay. It also looks like I have a lack of focus. It's almost like there's so many things going on that I have trouble prioritizing. I have trouble even creating a list of the things that I need to do. If you feel that way or have ever felt that way, just know that you are in light company. So anyhow, I took the time off that I needed to make sure that I could kind of rejuvenate and bring some joy and some information back into this podcast. And so I'm excited to be in here because what I want to talk about is a mindset that many educators have that other people in different careers don't always possess. And that is having the mindset of being a lifelong learner. Okay. So I can remember from all of my years of teaching, I don't think I met too many fellow educators that didn't love to read, right? Lots of people love to read, but mostly teachers. I think that's part of the reason why we're I want to be a teacher because I love to read. The other thing is our career is a career that is ever changing, right? The content is changing. The core standards might be changing because of either state standards or maybe you have changed grade levels, right? I feel like there's always things that are mixing up. One of the things that would kind of aggravate me when I was teaching full-time was the constant change of curriculum, okay? Now, I'm not talking about the standards, right? Or changing grade levels, but the actual curriculum, right? So 1 year we're using this program for math because it's the best program. Oh, nope, never mind. It's not the best. Next year we're going to be using this one, or next year we're going to be using this one. And not only were we changing, but each set of curriculum came with a whole new tub of stuff that I had to organize, store, figure out how to use, make sure that it was labeled so that way the stuff didn't get lost. And it was a shit show. It was a hot mess. Okay. Having that mindset of understanding, number one, things change. Number two, I need to be okay with the change, even if I don't like it, right? I can't just fight it. Having that in your arsenal or in your toolbox per se makes you exceptional in the world of real estate. And the reason why is because everything is changing. Lots of people will say, oh, I bought a house 10 years ago. Guess what? It's changed. Or someone might say, oh, my friend sold a house last month. Guess what? Even in a month, it could have changed. And a lot of people really struggle with that, right? Especially if you are talking about prospecting, right? So prospecting is the way that we get people to want to help us buy and sell houses, right? How are you staying in front of people? How are you staying current? And one of the ways is making sure that you know everything that is changing. Now, there are people who are very good at advocating for themselves, right? They ask questions, they go on Google, they watch webinars, they read books, they, ask people who are at the top of the production chain, and they're like, hey, can I come and just watch you for the day? I want to see how you run your business. And I think even as educators, we do that all the time, right? Like I can remember in our PLC groups, our professional learning communities, we would meet as like a grade group, and we would talk and we would look at the data based on a past assessment, right? So let's say that teacher A, her students perform much higher than my students. What's the first question I'm going to ask her? And no, it's not, did you help them cheat? But it's going to be, how did you prepare the material? How did you present it to the students? How many days did you stay on this standard? How did you measure their success? Especially if we gave them the exact same assessment, right? So the reason why we do that as educators is because we know that the students require a top-notch educator to make sure that they are prepared for the following grade, right? That they've learned the things they need to be able to move on to the next grade in order to learn to be responsible, self-advocates, problem solvers, all of the things, right? All of the big buzzwords. There are so many real estate agents, though, that don't have that mindset. They stay stuck in their ways. Well, we've always done it this way, so this is the way I'm going to do it, which is the worst mindset that you could possibly have, because right now, okay, if you're listening to this during this time frame that it's being recorded and is being put out on all of the podcast channels, you know that our market is this is the worst real estate market that we've had in over 40 years. 40 years, guys. Like, I mean, I was 4 the last time the market was this bad, right? Now, most people who are in real estate haven't been around that long, okay? Or maybe there are a few that you know that have been in real estate that long, so they can talk about what it was like 40 years ago, okay? But a large majority of them have been in the business for about 20 years, right? So they went through the 2008 recession, and when all the homes were being foreclosed on and all of the banks were owning the properties. But guess what? That wasn't really a bad market, because houses were going on the market for sale and they were going for cheap. So there was lots of people who were buying those cheap houses. Now, was it good for the people who owned them? No, it wasn't, right? It was a super, super sad time, especially if you happen to be one of the people who were, losing your home. But it was really good for the people who were buying them, okay? Like they were able to buy a $400,000 home for half of the price. Okay. Now, I don't want to get into like the whole cause of that, but you have to understand our market is always changing. And I feel that the one thing that makes educators, past educators, wonderful in this market is because we like to learn. We like to learn new things. We like to read. We like to attend classes. I mean, we're used to going to professional development, right? So, and we don't mind asking questions. We don't mind not being the smartest person in the room. We are totally okay with having this lifelong learner mindset. All right, guys. So in this podcast, I really want to talk about how adopting that mindset is the key to success for teachers who are making the leap into real estate, right? So again, I'm your host, Jackie Durbin. And today what I'm going to really talk about is that transformative power of continuous learning in the dynamic world of real estate, right? So real estate is an ever evolving, ever changing landscape, right? So the ability to embrace change and also stay informed is crucial for teachers who are turning into real estate, okay? So from market trends, right? Is it a buyer's market? Is it a seller's market, right? To technological advances. I can remember when my dad was in sales, he had a Rolodex. No one knows what a Rolodex is. If you were not born in the 1900s and you're listening to this, you're probably not knowing what a Rolodex is. And no, it's not a Rolex, okay? I'm talking about this little black thing that had little white pieces of paper in it, and it was kind of like a circular type thing, and you could roll it, and it was in alphabetical order. So basically, think about your contacts in your phone on pieces of paper. That's basically what it was. And it just spun around, okay? And you could add more people in there, and you could take people out. We don't do things that way anymore. Okay. We do most of our things on the computer, right? Or we have these contacts on our phone. Same thing. 20-ish years ago, we were writing contracts on paper. Now we're not doing that. We're using them on the computer. And people who have not embraced all of these new technological advances are going to struggle in the market, right? If you were used to doing open houses where you had people who would just like sign in with a piece of paper, now hopefully you're using QR codes to get people's information. Hopefully you're using different lead generation tools where people scan things and it automatically gets their information. Hopefully you're understanding how you can create targeted ads, right, for your ideal client based on things that you're putting out there, right? Guys, this lifelong learner mindset equips you to navigate and also to thrive in this dynamic industry. The other things I want to talk about are adapting our teaching skills to the real estate challenges. All right. So, as a teacher, you have honed a diverse set of skills. Okay. You know how to do so many things, right? I always say, like, what people would say, like, what's teaching like? Teaching is like juggling big, huge sticks that are on fire while you're in a volcano that's currently erupting during an earthquake. Like, that's what teaching is like. And I don't say that because it's like, death defying or whatever, but there's always something else going on. You are constantly trying to maintain your focus while a kid is tapping their pencil, or while someone is upset, or while you're getting a phone call, or while there's always stuff going on, right? It's extremely challenging, right? So having this lifelong learner mindset, it allows you to adapt these skills to overcome any challenges that are unique, obviously, to the real estate profession, right? For problem solving, okay? There's going to be times when you have to solve problems. Maybe you're representing the seller and they feel that the buyers are being a little overbearing, or they're asking too much, or whatever, right? Guys, we solve problems every single day. And I used to always say, you picked the right solution for a problem when both sides feel like the other person got a better outcome, right? So, no, you're not, hopefully you are not like breaking up like a fist fight on the playground, right? But you have to understand, not everyone's a great problem solver. Not everyone is able to maintain their own composure in a very high stress situation. Okay. And so those years of teaching, those years of being able to bite your tongue, I feel like sometimes there were days that I thought I was going to like completely bite it off. Like, I really wanted one of those stickers that said like WTF, and it was not what the frun, it was the other one, right? So being in real estate, those problem solving skills, that ability to kind of calm yourself and find a smart solution to the problem is really going to help you. Also, effective communication. Let's just face it, teachers can command a room. And the reason why is because we have to do it every single day. We have to be able to really be able to spark up a conversation with people that didn't even know us from the beginning, right? Whether it's at a conference or parent teacher conference, if it's at like a school event, if you are at if it's the first day of school, right, and you're meeting the students, maybe it's a open house or whatever it is, right? Things that we do in teaching show that we have effective communication skills. We're able to communicate effectively to make sure that we're being very what's the word, aware of our tone, right? And not even communicating with our verbal, but our written communication, right? We're able to really communicate in both ways 100% effectively because we've done it the entire time we've been in the classroom, right? It's never, teaching does not mean that you are just sitting in a cubicle looking at a computer, right? And there's so many people right now that they weren't used to that, right? They're living in a world where they're very isolated, right? They're only communicating through paper pencil, maybe, or through the internet. And now they're fighting for a real estate contract, whether it's for a buyer or a seller, and we have a leg up on them because of our communication effectiveness. All right. Also, we have a continual learning, right? We're used to continually learning, whether again, it's learning a new grade, a new content, a new curriculum, a new program, whatever it is. And that enhances our ability to address the complexities of a real estate transaction, right? So if you're dealing with a seller, right, there's going to be different things that you have to do to help them through the complexities of selling their property. If you're dealing with a buyer, again, same things. Because we have that effective communication, because we're continually learning, we are updating our craft. Think about the first time you ever taught a class, okay? Very first day, okay? First day of the school year. Think about your classroom management. I'm going to tell you one thing. My first year, those kids, they had their way with me. They really did. Like, I didn't have a clue what was going on. And so I really didn't teach classroom management. Like, I didn't set up my classroom to be a community where kids felt comfortable. And guess what? It all fell apart. Now, did I do that exact same thing the next time that I taught my first day of school? Heck no. And the reason why is because I had learned from it, right? I was willing to say, okay, this did not work out well. I was also willing to go to other teachers that I watched that had wonderful behavior management in the classroom. Like, I would see them in the hallway and I'm like, what in the world? Like, did you threaten their life? Like, how are your kids behaving so well? So guess what? Because I have that mindset, now when I go into real estate, let's say that I have a really crappy transaction. Maybe I dropped the ball. Maybe, there's a compliance issue. Maybe I forgot something. Guess what? I'm willing to learn from that, not only from that experience, but now I can go to another person, right? Another person who's in the industry and say, you know what? I really dropped the ball on this one and I want to do better next time. How do you handle these situations? How do you organize your files? How do you handle these types of, obstacles that might come over the course of a real estate transaction? Guys, I know this sounds like rocket science, but there are so many people who don't do it. I don't know if it's ego. I don't know if it's like they don't want to ask for help. I guess that would still be ego, but we don't mind, right? We are teachers. We're used to having an entire tribe of other educators that are around us that we can reach out to when we need help, when we need more, skill set. Now, next thing that we're really good at, embracing new technologies and tools. Okay, so my first year of teaching, we still had like a whiteboard, right? Like, that's all there was just like the whiteboard and the dry erase markers. A couple years later, guess what I got? A smartboard. Oh my gosh, that smartboard was the coolest thing. But do you know that there were so many teachers at our school that had smartboards that did not use them effectively? Yeah, do you know why? Because they weren't embracing the new technologies and the new tools. Smartboards were so much fun. So when I got mine, I was teaching first grade. Those first graders loved it. And I went to YouTube and I watched countless videos to figure out ways that I could use it in my reading, right? Ways that I could use the smartboard in different ways for my math, like all these different things. The kids loved it. I loved it. They were learning. My classroom was running effectively. But then there were other educators that really weren't embracing those new technologies. They were like, oh my gosh, this is just something else that I have to learn. I don't really know that that's how they talk, but that's how I think that they would talk. But in real estate, the industry is continuously introducing new technologies and new tools. At my brokerage specifically, we have what's called a metaverse. Okay, so we don't have brick and mortar buildings. Okay, so if I need help with technology, if I have a broker question, if I have an issue with a transaction, if my accounting was messed up, if I didn't get paid right, all these different things, guess what? I go into the metaverse with my little avatar and I sit across the desk, my avatar does, with this other person's avatar. They're able to solve my problem immediately. Guys, that's new technology. That's pretty freaking amazing. So, lifelong learners, lifelong learners are not afraid to embrace these new innovations, right? They're not scared to try something new. I know probably if you are in real estate, you've heard the huge buzz that everyone's going to social medias to find all of their new buyers and sellers. Oh my goodness, buy my ebook and find out how you can make $1 million. Okay, first of all, if it sounds too good to be true, it's probably too good to be true. But I will say that if you market yourself effectively, if you figure out who your ideal client is, what their pain points are, and if you're able to provide video and or content, right, that's going to answer their questions, fix their problems, then yes, people will look to you as a source, okay? And people will find you on the internet to be able to help them buy their house, right? So the thing is, you have to stay ahead of the technology, right? Staying ahead can give teachers turned realtors, right, a really competitive edge. So one of the things that is super effective is mastering your CRM. Okay, your CRM is your database of all of your past clients. The CRM that I use, KV Core, also has lead generation things, right? There's digital marketing. Being able to really utilize that in a way that is effective for my business, not only streamlining my communication, my follow-up, increasing my marketing, but all of those different things really will help you to stand out. And because we already know how to embrace new technologies and tools from being in the classroom, it just becomes second nature. All right, next thing. Networking and professional growth. Okay, so as teachers, we know that networking is super important, right? Having a bigger tribe, being able to talk to people who are really passionate and really well known, right, in their different field are going to be helpful. Professional growth, right? You have to continuously try to learn new things. And the reason why is because it's going to open doors to valuable connections, right? If you're attending industry events, if you're participating in training, it's really going to help you to further yourself in your business. Guys, think about how much growth you have made in your teaching career from the day one to the current day that you're at, okay? Whether it's you've been teaching a month, or maybe this is you're finishing up your 10th year, or maybe you're finishing up your 30th year and you're getting ready to retire. Regardless, you've changed, you've evolved. I hope so. If not, we need to have a longer discussion. But the reason why we evolve is because we know that if we stay the same, eventually, it's not going to be enough for the students that we have in front of us. And that's the same thing with real estate. If you stay the same, if you continue to do the exact same thing, you're going to get, you would think, the same results. But if you are lagging behind in technology, if you're lagging behind in your professional growth, right? If you're lagging behind in really adapting those problem-solving skills, you're going to get passed up. Someone's going to be able to take over where you were and do it better. Guys, teaching is hard. So is real estate. I'm not going to sugarcoat it. Real estate's really hard. However, what I have seen is that people who come from the world of education do extremely well in real estate because they are willing to always go that extra mile. Guys, I want to thank you so much for joining me on this episode of Teachers in Real Estate. We've really kind of explored like why lifelong learning, that mindset, is a game changer for teachers who are turning into realtors. Guys, as you embark on your real estate journey, remember that I committed to continual learning, right? And it will not only keep you relevant, right? But having that commitment to continue learning is also going to propel you towards sustained success. Guys, if you have questions or topics you'd like me to cover in future episodes, please reach out on Instagram. My handle is at Jackie Durbin. That's JackieDurbinaz. Make sure to check out for updates, additional content. Make sure you follow me, and I will be back soon with much more valuable content and valuable insights to help you succeed in your real estate journey. Guys, thank you so much for listening, and have an amazing rest of your day. Bye.